2 months after building my first biofield scanner, I conducted an experiment that shattered every assumption I had about the limits of what these simple devices could detect. What I discovered that night convinced me that we're standing at the threshold of a revolution in our understanding of human energy fields, and the technology to explore this frontier is already in our hands. This is part 4, the final installment of our Biofield Scanner series. Today, I'm going to share the most advanced applications I've developed, show you how to transform your basic sensors into a complete biofield monitoring system, and reveal the experiment that proved to me beyond any doubt that biofield phenomena are not only real, but far more sophisticated than anyone imagined. But first, let me tell you about the moment that changed everything. I had been using both sensors for several weeks, getting familiar with my own biofield patterns and testing different variables. I thought I understood what these devices could and couldn't detect. I was wrong. It happened during what I thought would be a routine calibration session. I was sitting quietly with both sensors active, establishing my baseline readings when my phone rang. Instead of answering it, I just looked at the caller ID and decided to let it go to voicemail. But something incredible happened. Both sensors showed distinct activity spikes the moment I saw who was calling. The caller was my ex-partner, someone I hadn't spoken to in months, but who still triggered strong emotional responses when I thought about them. Just seeing their name on my phone screen was enough to activate my sympathetic nervous system, and both the electromagnetic field detector and the GSR sensor captured this response immediately. This made me realize that the biofield scanner wasn't just detecting current emotional states. It was sensitive enough to capture unconscious physiological responses to emotional triggers that I wasn't even fully aware of. The technology was revealing layers of nervous system activity that operated below the threshold of conscious awareness. This discovery led me to develop what I call the integrated biofield monitoring protocol. Instead of using the sensors separately, I created a system that combines both measurements to provide a comprehensive picture of biofield activity in real time. The advanced setup involves connecting both sensors to analog inputs on an Arduino microcontroller, which allows for precise digital measurement and data logging over time. The Arduino samples both the electromagnetic field strength and the galvanic skin response simultaneously at regular intervals, creating a continuous biofield activity profile. With this system, I could track biofield patterns over hours or days, identifying correlations between biofield activity and various factors like sleep quality, stress levels, dietary changes, physical exercise, meditation practice, and social interactions. The patterns that emerged were remarkable and completely unexpected. I discovered that my biofield activity follows predictable daily rhythms, with peak electromagnetic emissions typically occurring in the late morning and early evening, and the lowest activity during deep sleep hours. Skin conductance patterns showed similar circadian variations, but with different timing, suggesting that different aspects of the biofield might be regulated by different biological clock mechanisms. More fascinating was discovering that certain activities could dramatically alter biofield patterns for hours afterward. Intense physical exercise created elevated electromagnetic activity that persisted for several hours post-workout. Deep meditation sessions produced sustained decreases in both electromagnetic emissions and skin conductance that could last the entire day. But the most profound discovery came when I started monitoring biofield interactions between people. Using multiple sensor sets, I could simultaneously measure the biofield activity of two people in the same space and look for correlations or interactions between their energy patterns. The results were absolutely stunning. When two people with strong biofield signatures sat close together, their electromagnetic patterns began to synchronize within minutes. It was like watching two pendulum clocks gradually fall into rhythm with each other. The effect was strongest between people with close emotional bonds and weaker between strangers, but it was consistently measurable. This biofield entrainment phenomenon suggested that our energy fields don't operate in isolation, They're constantly interacting with and influencing the biofields of people around us. We might literally be sharing electromagnetic information at an unconscious level through biofield interactions. These observations led me to explore the cutting edge research happening in the biofield science community. I discovered that organizations like the Institute of Noetic Sciences and the International Society for the Study of Subtle Energies and Energy Medicine are conducting sophisticated research into these phenomena using equipment far more advanced than my DIY sensors. But what excited me most was realizing that the basic principles I had discovered with simple homemade devices were consistent with findings from these high-end research facilities. The Biofield scanner technology we built in this series represents a democratized version of research tools that until recently were only available to well-funded laboratories. This democratization of biofield research technology has profound implications. For the first time in history, curious individuals can explore biofield phenomena directly rather than just reading about other people's research. We can conduct our own experiments, make our own discoveries, and contribute to the growing body of knowledge about human energy fields. I started sharing my data and observations with online biofield research communities, and I was amazed to discover hundreds of other individuals conducting similar experiments with homemade detection equipment. We're part of a grassroots research movement that's pushing the boundaries of biofield science from the ground up. The future applications of this technology are limitless. I'm already working on enhanced versions that incorporate additional sensors for measuring parameters like local magnetic field variations, atmospheric electrical activity, and even subtle changes in ambient temperature that might correlate with biofield phenomena. The next generation of biofield scanners will likely include wireless connectivity for sharing data with global research networks, machine learning algorithms for pattern recognition, and integration with other biometric sensors for comprehensive physiological monitoring. But beyond the technology itself, what this journey has taught me is that we're living in an invisible sea of electromagnetic information that our normal senses can't detect. The biofield scanner has given the access to this hidden layer of reality, and once you start seeing these energy patterns, you can never unsee them. Every interaction, every emotion, every thought creates ripples in the electromagnetic field around us. We're constantly broadcasting our internal states through biofield emissions, and we're constantly receiving biofield information from other people and our environment. We're far more connected and interdependent on an energetic level than most people realize. The implications for healing, personal development, and human potential are staggering. If we can learn to consciously influence our biofield patterns through techniques like meditation, breathing exercises, or focused intention, we might be able to optimize our health and well-being in ways that conventional medicine hasn't even considered. Some researchers are already exploring whether biofield interactions might explain phenomena like therapeutic touch, energy healing, or even the placebo effect. If biofields are real and measurable, they might provide a scientific foundation for understanding how consciousness and intention can influence physical health. The biofield scanner technology we've built in this series is just the beginning. As more people start building and experimenting with these devices, we'll undoubtedly discover applications and phenomena that none of us can imagine today. What started as curiosity about invisible energy fields has become a window into the deepest mysteries of consciousness, connection, and human potential. The tools are simple, the components are inexpensive, and the discoveries waiting to be made are limitless. The biofield revolution is happening now, and it's being driven by curious individuals with basic electronic components and the courage to explore the invisible world that surrounds us every day. Welcome to the future of energy detection technology. Welcome to the biofield frontier. The question isn't whether biofields exist. The question is what we'll discover when we start measuring them systematically. And that journey starts with building your first biofield scanner and opening your eyes to the electromagnetic universe that's been there all along, just waiting for us to develop the tools to see it. The invisible world is visible now. The only question is, are you ready to see it?